let's get the orange stripped and start working on her, because why not? It's a lovely day outside, great day for fixing bikes. Let's do it. Let's have a closer look at what we're going to save and the condition of the frame, and then what I'm going to do in a second. So we'll go from there. Let's do it. So this is where I'm at with the frame. The frame's all now stripped down. However, it's starting to rain quite bad, and I've got bikes that need to come in. So I'm going to give you a quick run through on the frame and the parts, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the parts in, get them in the parts washer, because that's still in the house, and then when the rain dies down this afternoon, we'll give the frame a good clean down and a good clean up. So let's have a look where we are with the frame and the parts. Well, in terms of the frame, it's not in bad condition at all. I've been round and I've checked all the areas. I can't see any fractures or cracks and so on this frame. It just generally needs a really good clean up, so yeah, we'll get onto that. So that's all stripped, ready to be basically made pretty. If we have a look on the table, what we're going to save. So what are we saving from this? Let me just move my Allen keys. Let's put them over there. So we're gonna put the bottle cage back on, because he wants a bottle cage on, because he does ride it. Crank, definitely. So parts washer. I'll parts washer that just to get all that crud and stuff out the threads on there. The brakes, brake pads have gone in the bin, so they can all go in the parts washer. It wants to keep the booster on the rear end, so we'll clean and polish all that up. The rear mech needs the crud chiseling off, and then we'll have a better look at those jockey wheels on there as well. But that should come up relatively clean. Bit of marking there, but AO. Front mech, that's all good. Parts washer. I've took them off because he says he wants to keep the ferrules, so I'll just stick them in some degreaser and clean them up and reuse them where possible. The actual bottom bracket, it looks quite bad. However, that still feels silky smooth, no rumbling. So I'm going to polish all of that, get all that crud off, give it all a really good clean up, and we'll get more life out of that, which is great. We're all about saving money on the channel. They need a bit of a service. I've not taken out the gear cable yet, because you have to undo all them bits there, and it needs a good jetting out with some oil-based spray to get them working right. We'll buff all that paint off there as well. Clean up all the headset bits, find some new bolts for the stem, because the length of the stem is good. So what we'll do now is we'll get all of this in the parts washer, and then fingers crossed, weather permitting, we'll then get the frame all cleaned up and then start cracking on. So let's go from there. So just on a side note, before I chuck these in a bag and take it inside, dump them in the parts washer, I've got new parts for this bike. So I've got some fresh handlebars, got some Ritchie bars for it, some black ones, some new wheels, not crazy special, not XT hubs or like that, because we're trying to keep the cost down on this, but we have got a really decent set of Mavic rims with STX RC hubs in there, so they'll work great. Different tyres, brake pads, brake noodles, brake rubber noodles as well as the pipe noodles, and forks. So one friend has done a deal, and now this friend has got his old Manitou forks that we took off is Specialized on the channel. So we're pretty much there. So it's going to have a new chain, new cassette, new cables, new grips, new saddle, and then go from there. So let's get the parts cleaned up, and then we can have a better look at what we're dealing with. And then if the weather cheers up this afternoon, then in this video we'll do the clean up of the frame as well, and then start piecing it all together. So thanks for watching up to this point. Give me a few seconds, and not that it's special, but we'll dunk some parts in the parts washer and then go from there. So see you in a second. Well, while the frame's out there drying, and the parts are, well, the parts have just come out of the parts washer, so they can just dry off for a bit as well before we polish. We can do a few other bits, so we're going to keep the headset because the headset bearings are running nice and smooth as well, just crudded up, dirty. I'll give them a service and get them on. So we're putting on a set of Manitou forks, the Answers, relatively nice condition for the age anyway. So we'll bang on, we can do a few bits, we'll bang on the crown race and like get other bits ready. So all about utilising my time efficiently and all that lot. So, but yeah, I think given the condition of the frame and the parts and so on, it should all go smoothly, this one, to be fair. Lovely. So that's the forks all on. I'll wipe all that off, but yeah, we'll grease them up, get them on, and let's go and get the parts out of the pot. Well, let's go and get the bits for out of the parts washer, and we'll have a look how well they're cleaned up. First of all, we have to appreciate the frame. So obviously she had a really good scrub. I'm calling her the Thai bride because she's going to give you the ride of a lifetime, and your wallet probably as well. However, so I've not gone too bad on this. I took on board of what some people said in the comments on the last video in terms of not kind of like taking off like the beaded kind of finish on this. So there was a few bits, it's like there was loads and loads of marks on the top tube, and it had already been kind of polished off a little bit anyway. So I've cleaned and managed to get out virtually most of the scuffs on the entire frame. There's only a few ever so minor ones like that, which once the cables are there, I don't really want to polish that bit too much. So, but yeah, same all the way around. Bit odd seeing this light, but she is looking sexy. So she's polished, she's looking nice. So the frame is good. That's ready, that's done, that's looking sexy. So what I've done is I've got all the parts out of the parts washer, and I've kind of got everything together on there. We've got the wheels down there as well, which, as I said, we have the STX-RC hubs on the Mavic 138 rims. So really decent set of rims, really good tread life left on there, not concaved or wrote. The bearings and frill body are super sweet. So they're going to be awesome on this bike. They're super lighter compared to the old wheels as well. The last thing what I did with the headset, I was going to knock the cups out, as you saw in the first video, but then I thought, well, they don't really need to come out because I'm going to reuse the same headset. But what I did is, they was running smooth anyway, but I did pop off the little seals there, take off the race, and then inspect the bearings. And then I thought, well, while I was there, I just put fresh bearings in there anyway, and rebuilt them. So the headset's running 532 bearings, so that's done. And then we come over to the table of goodness. So what we've got going on here then? So we've got the forks, they're all done, crown races on, ready. The parts actually polished up and cleaned up through the parts washer. Amazing, to be fair. I've lubed all the pivots, in those, so they're silky smooth now, whereas when I first took them off, they was gritty and not hardly working. Same with the rear derailleur, that's all been fully cleaned. I did strip off the jockey wheels as well. They're not too bad, I reckon they'll be all right. So we'll see if they can go again. Front mech, again, after getting all that crud and crap off it and really degreasing and cleaning all the pivots and again re-oiling, they're mint. Got the new chaining set. We've got the Ritchie saddle, which is going to go on it. We've got the Ritchie handlebars. We are going to put the bottle cage and pump back on. Better grips. So we got the cranked grips. Never heard of those. When I first looked at them, I thought it said Crackhead for some reason. Just a quick look, that's what I thought it said. So yeah, Got some Novatec skewers, and then we've got all the little bits and bobs. So we've got the Clark brake pads. They're good because it's got the 3 different compounds on there, so they'll be super sharp on the bike as well. New noodles and shifters. So finally took the shifters apart. And then obviously, as you can see, that's where the cable goes, but you'll see a bit more of that on the next video when I rebuild all this, because I'll show you how to best put cables in them and how that goes on. So they're all polished, looking mint as well. Oh, and I managed to get, if you remember, that one there had like loads of white scuffs going across the top. So I've managed to get that off. It's not looking too bad now. One of the shifters was also sticking as well on the actual ratchet system. So as you can hear now, that's got perfect nice indexing on both. So I basically, with those, I just jetted in and filled it all full of oil and got all the moving pivots all working perfect again. So they'll be mint when they go back on. Polished up the booster because we are going to be putting that back on the back wheel. Cleaned up all the bolts and so on for that, and the spacers. Headset is all cleaned up, bolts all cleaned up, ready to go. Bolts for the rear brake, and then a few of the random bolts, which I've got 2 Bottle Boss bolts there. I just need to clean up one more because it's just a little bit crap on there. And then I need to find another one of those. I just don't dug through the drawer yet. And then cables and pedals, and that is pretty much. One thing I will mention. If you remember from the last video, we took off a silver stem. It absolutely weighed a ton. The bolts was all rusty. So what I actually did is I've dug this one out. It's in fairly decent condition, to be fair. It's got a few little tiny little marks on the top and a little mark on the side there. But that is half the weight of what the old one was. It's the same length, same rise. So my friend's not going to find any difference when he's riding that. But with the riser bars, it is going to make the bike just a little bit more comfortable for him as well, because he is a little bit taller. And so yeah, then those handlebars will suit him better. And then last but not least, cleaned up all the bottom bracket. That is not too bad. That's just a little bit of surface crap there, so yeah, that's not bad. But all cleaned, that is again running nice. So that's where we're at with everything. Everything is prepped, done and mint. So yeah, that's where we are with that. That's pretty much where we are with it today. Like everything, and this is probably a bit of my OCDs where bikes are concerned, is I like to have everything like service ready, like I don't know, like a surgical table where everything, so when then I go into the build, I don't have to like stop and start and service up other little bits anyway, so I can just crack straight on. So really happy with them, really happy with the frame, really happy with the wheels. And I also, what I did during all that cleaning process is also had a shave to clean me up, and I also cleaned up the workshop. As you can see, I've got rid of all that crap everywhere, tidied up tools, also gave the floor a little bit of a hoover. Been a bit of a busy day, I'm not gonna lie, so yeah, that's where we are. That was the strip down, clean. Join me on the next video, right? Because this is when we're really going to transform this bike, and it's going to be awesome. Like, it's going to be dialed in, and it's going to ride nice. So, oh, you know what? I've not enjoyed doing a bike on the channel for what? Say it again. I've not enjoyed a bike as much as this on the channel, and I can explain why. Is because I don't know, I kind of like how bad it looked and how bad it was at the beginning, because it kind of, when you've got to the end of what you've done and you've kind of brought an old bike back to life and you've really kind of like made a massive impact on it, I don't know, it puts a smile on my face, and I guarantee it's going to put a smile on my mate's face as well. So, yeah, I've achieved something today. On that note, I'm going to go and put some chicken in, because I'm having chicken tonight for dinner. And then I'll start the build up tomorrow, and you'll see the video in the next couple of days. Oh, last thing before your tea goes cold, or you've got to put the kettle on. The Trek 930, I've now got all the parts for it. I took everyone's comments into consideration. That build is coming midweek this week, probably Thursday, Friday time, maybe Saturday. You just keep an eye out for that one. I'm looking. I'll give you a sneak peek. I'll give you one thing. So the Trek 930, I decided one thing on the gearing setup. I had to go narrow wide chainring, single on the front, 9 on the back. Join me for that full build. However, join me for when we get this one done. We've got to get this one done first. Join me for that one. See you.